Previously on Living Single.
That pornography graduated into masturbation, and masturbation graduated into sex with guys. And let me tell you something. Sex is a beast. Now, beast ain't bad, but when you awaken that beast too soon, when you mishandle that beast, abuse that beast is going to come back to you with a vengeance. And it's going to try to destroy you and take over you. And that I want to welcome you guys to yet another episode of... Cue the intro, please. We are living, hey, single. Oh, in a millennial kind of world. I'm glad I got my girls. Keep your head up, what? The third reason why I am not having sex of any kind as a single young woman is because it was selfish. When God created sex, He never created it to be a selfish act. He wanted it to be communal. Meaning He wanted two people to embrace, to share with one another, to give to one another, to bring pleasure and satisfaction to one another, and not for self. And when you think about it, all illegal sex is selfish. Really, because sin is selfish. It's always about what can I get for myself? How can I gratify my own desire? And since we're talking about selfishness, let me hit on masturbation just for a moment. When you masturbate, who are you trying to please? You, right? God never created sex for you. He didn't create your body for you, but your body is for Him and it's for your potential spouse. And so, speaking from a young woman who not only struggled with pornography for years, but tie that together with masturbation. I struggled with masturbation for years, where I am just now getting to a place of freedom to where I don't feel that pressure or bullying or hold of masturbation on me any longer. This is 2019. Just last year was when I felt the breaking of that, to where it no longer haunts me every now and then. It's a beautiful thing. Freedom is a beautiful thing. All glory to God. Because that was something I never knew I could be free from. But when you have a desire to respect sex, God is going to see that desire through, and His promises shall not be broken. But let's get back to masturbation. But every time you decide that you're going to have sex with yourself is a time you are taking sex selfishly for yourself, leaving your potential spouse out, and ultimately having sex without him. Every time you use your sex, you are training your body to be sexually pleased by somebody else other than your spouse. And that, ladies, is one of the most selfish acts in a relationship, because you're only thinking about yourself and you're not thinking about your spouse. Even if he's not here yet, and even if you don't desire to be married, even if you're not going to get married, you're not thinking about God, because your body is His, not yours. And if God said this is not how I created sex to be used, then you got to take your husband, Christ, His opinion, His thought, His word, His heart into consideration. You're able to be selfless, which is the ultimate call of life that God calls us to, which is to love one another. Girl, you better start loving on your husband. And you know what? I told myself, if I'ma have sex, then it's gonna be the best sex ever. That brings me to the fourth reason of why I am not having sex as a single woman. Is because I want that good. And when I say good, I mean the best sex that I could possibly have. If all this illegal sex that I was having brought me pain, brought me separation from my guy, from the person I was having sex with, if it brought me worry, stress, if it brought me all these negative things, I had to ask myself, is it really worth it? If I can use this beautiful thing called sex and get so much more out of it, like, why wouldn't I choose that? So I did. I want to be able to have sex that not only benefits me, that not only benefits my husband, but something that God can smile down upon and get glory from. Something that God can brag about and say, yeah, they having some good sex right about now. Now that's the kind of sex you have. I want to be able to be at peace in my bed, in my marriage bed, to be able to share my body so openly and freely with my husband, with no worry of anybody shaming me, with no worry of what am I do? I'm a single mother and I have nobody to help me raise these children. God is with you if you're in that situation. But we have choices. You know, and we don't necessarily have to choose that. And I want the best sex for my life. I want sex that benefits my body, my soul, and my spirit. And if that means me waiting, if that means me respecting sex in its proper place of marriage, then let me tell you, it's worth the wait. And I've come to a place of maturity and patience to where I am willing to wait. Because I'd rather be wealthy for a lifetime than settle for some cheap thrills in the moment. So the fifth reason as to why I am not having sex of any kind as a single young woman is because sex leaves a legacy. The kind of sex that you have right now is going to determine your future and the future of your children's lives. You feel me? I want to be able to create an environment, a mindset, a legacy to where my children can benefit from it. Because if you look around and even assess your own life, I come from a single parent household. I come from the brokenness from the misuse and mishandling of sex and just not choosing right. You know, allowing sex to cause you to make the wrong decisions. You feel me? And so I know how it feels to have to be born into brokenness and having to take those pieces and put them together for yourself, and you never had a blueprint. You never had a picture of what it's supposed to look like. That's not something that I want my future children to go through. I want to be able to bring them into a place to where they see two people honoring sex. They see two people committed to one another, not only, you know, thinking about themselves, but thinking about them as the child as well. And so wherever you are right now, I just want to encourage you, if you have been in a place where you didn't respect sex, you never thought that it was something to be respected, let me tell you, it's never too late to set an example for your children. By starting with self, starting by loving yourself and respecting sex in its proper place, ask God, give sex back to God and ask him, and he'll show you how to use his good gift, how you're supposed to treat it. Because it's worth it. The goodness and the benefits that comes from it is worth it. And I don't have to be married right now to understand that his promises are real. So not only do I want to leave a legacy of, you know, what it looks like to respect sex and honor sex and respect our bodies, but I want to leave a spiritual legacy. Ultimately, I want them to know that sex is God's. And you worship God, you honor God when you honor his word. You respect his word when he says, flee from all sexual immorality. All other sins a man commits are outside his body, but he who sins sexually sins against his own body. Do you not know that your body is a place where the Holy Spirit dwells? You are not your own. You are bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your body. I want my children to not only hear that, read that, but to see that. Because let me tell you, spiritual legacy is so real. Spirits that transfer from parents to children is so real. And I'm making sure that my children won't have to struggle to worship God. So those are, I think I've shared 5 reasons as to why I am not having sex of any kind as a single young woman. I so hope that this was encouraging. I so hope that it gave you a new perspective when it comes to sex and how sex relates to you right now as a single young woman. Keep following She Abundantly, because I am so in the works of creating something that's going to be sex-centered and it's going to be so beneficial to your life. That's all I'm going to say right now. Because sex talks is one of the best talks. You feel me? So how'd you like this episode? Comment down below. DM your girl wherever you're watching. If there's any more topics that you would love to be talked about, if you want my perspective on or a new perspective on, let me know. And I'll do my best to give you a little something about it. because these conversations are not one-sided. I would love to hear your voice, because I know I'm not the only one out here trying to live their best life as a single woman. Check out sheabundantly.com, where I have nothing but truth, music, fashion, and all kinds of good stuff in between. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, but of course, where I talk that real talk that you need, that we need, just like this. Go ahead and subscribe, because there's always some good stuff headed your way. Talk to you soon. Peace.